Hey, 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 it's Rebecca, and you're listening to Resilient by Design. Today I'm interviewing Anna Pilling, and she is the founder and I think COO of Night and Day Window Decor. And today we talk about, well, we cover a lot of bases, but we talk about her journey to starting her own window business. She has 3 locations. We talk about designers and the value in learning and understanding. She uses this really great expression. I don't want to give it away in the intro, but I think it's really good. And then we expand on it. But she says, the more you learn, the more you can earn. And I love that quote. It is so true in all aspects of life. But today we talk about how you can incorporate window treatments, automated blinds, to increase your bottom line and how you can make money. And even though they're expensive, she shares like how you can talk to your clients about it. And I talk about some recent installations in my own home. And at the end, she has a little tip of what she thinks designers should stop doing. So listen to this episode with Anna. And when you finish listening, she has given us a cheat sheet. It's in the show notes. So just go there to look for it. It's how to talk to your clients about window coverings. And it is a free download. So go check it out. And I hope you enjoy this episode. All right. I'm Rebecca Hay, and I've built a successful interior design business by trial and error, podcasts, online courses, and so many freaking books. Over the last decade, I've grown from an insecure student to having false starts to careers, and now I'm finally in the place where I want to be. Throughout my journey, it's been pretty obvious that I'm passionate about business and helping other entrepreneurs do the same. Each week, I'll share tangible takeaways from my own experience and the experiences of other badass women to help you build your confidence and change your business. Are you as tired as I am working in a bubble? I mean, shoot. It's time to maybe socially distance with other people. That is why I love coming to the Collective Workspace. If you are someone who is looking for a little bit of stimulation, a lot of beauty, the Collective Workspace is a really great place to go. It is a co-working space for designers, architects, and builders in Toronto, and they're opening a second location this spring. They have flex workspace and offices starting at $120 a month. There's boardrooms, a podcast booth, which is where I am right now, concierge, storage, and a trade-only design library. You can find out more, or if you want to book a tour, go to thecollectiveto.com. Hello, Anna. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Rebecca. Good morning. Thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited about this.
Thank you for coming. I've been bugging you to come on this podcast now for a while, so it means a lot. You finally accepted my invitation.
Oh my goodness, yeah, no, the pleasure is all mine. It's just I needed some time to get ready and be in the right.
Where did we meet? I'm just trying to did we meet at one of my designer meetups?
I'll back up. I think it was when you really started getting into your Instagram. So I feel like it was 2019. That's how I came across your, speaking of that,
To be clear, I've been on my Instagram extensively for years. It just goes to show that it takes a long time until people start to notice.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
That's
totally
awesome.
True. Don't look at mine. You're like,
2019, man. I've already been doing that stuff for I don't know, at least 8 years. I'm just teasing.
No, I know.
Okay, yeah. So go on.
2019, it kept. I think it kept. Of course, I follow many, interior designers, and then yours kept popping up, and it's. Of course, I do like your aesthetic. Obviously, that's why. Or your style. That's why it's. I noticed it, but it was more than that. So it was that wow, there's this person, and she's just sharing everything. And it's so genuine and silly little things like, oh, she doesn't wear heels, and just little things like that. But it was more than that. I'm like, oh, she's really trying to share just what it's like to run a business and get some tips. So I totally got hooked. And I remember the day where, or somewhere you shared your weekly schedule. And it was just such a
Right.
mind-blowing thing, like, wow, this is so simple. Why haven't I done this before? And even just the little, the time blocking, the day for being in the office and the days where you're on the road doing your thing. So I'm a retailer. Did I introduce myself? I don't think I did.
No, I know. I wanted everybody to know that like we have this connection. So like you follow me on Instagram. We're going to get to that 1 second because I want you to share because what you do is interesting and unique, and you're an entrepreneur as well. But we met in person.
We did.
Where did we meet in person?
It was you. I think it was the last one we could do in February 2020, the Jen Air experience. That's where we met in person. But I also remember just going to the IDS show again, the last one we could do in person. And it was something I must have messaged you, or maybe I just reacted to one of your Instagram stories that day. And then I walk into IDS and you're literally the first person, the face that I know. And then anyway, so we briefly met there, but then it was the one of your designer meetups, which was great. And that was, I think, February. I had a note here somewhere. I think it was February in 2020. Yeah. So that's it. But it was it's really what resonated with me was you just sharing all these tips. And so it was more than, design. Of course, we all like to look at beautiful things. And that's what Instagram is for, partly. But it was more, just sharing your experience and sharing the tips. And then I just started, following everything. But the weekly schedule, honestly, it was the first thing. It was like, wow, okay. Yeah, that helped a lot because once I got into 3 locations, it started getting a little bit, the headless chicken thing.
Okay, so like 3 locations, like, whoa, okay, you're getting ahead of yourself. I feel like let's pause.
Okay.
You need to introduce yourself properly in the sense of like, what's your name? What do you do? And then we're going to talk about the whole journey because I want people to listen very carefully because I know it's a lot of entrepreneurs listening to this podcast. And I think it's inspirational to see strong women running a business that's not necessarily even an interior design business. Yes, you're you're in our industry and it's you help designers, but 3 locations. Okay. Can we just bring it back a second?
Sure.
And just tell us a little bit more, like, how did you get there? Like, who are you? Who are you? What's your experience? Like, how did you end up where you are today?
Gotcha. Thank you for the question. So my name is Anna Pilling, if I missed that one. And I'm a co-owner of Night and Day Window Decor. It is a 3-location window covering retail business. It is a 7-figure business today. And I started it really from ground up with my business partner, Jason, back in 2004, who was a friend from university. So I went to Ryerson and I did this degree in occupational health and safety. And that's how we know each other, and his wife, who's still in that field. In 2003, I had my first child, and I was on maternity. And he had his own reasons. Obviously, we have different reasons why we started this. But I knew at that time, I did do a few years in basically corporate and a few years managing health and safety. And managing health and safety, there's different things you can do, but some of it is, steel toe boots and hard hats and that kind of thing, and working out somewhere in a mine. There's, you don't have to do that. There's different avenues, if you will. But, I just knew I'm like, this is not going to cut it in the long run. And we were just thinking, okay, what else could I do? And it was a little bit, it just started from really Jason and this other person that was in the industry, blinds industry, thinking, why don't we do this on our own? Why don't we start this blinds business? That's it. I was like, okay. So we started from nothing, from zero, from just a little bit of stubbornness, an entrepreneurial spirit, for sure. And thankfully, lots of support from our families, right? So what started as 3 people, a van, a website, and a shop from home model, which I'm sure you're kind of accustomed to, turned into this, 3-location retail business. and we serve mainly the GTA, but we'll go anywhere pretty much in Ontario where it makes sense project wise. And yeah, so today I find myself more of a operations manager, I suppose, and I'm still trying to figure out, like who does what. So Jason definitely takes care of a lot of the bookkeeping and the books and the numbers.
That's
And
so
it just,
important. And I just want
yeah,
to stop you there because I know a lot of people listening are probably like, oh man, you're so lucky. I know I'm
yeah,
thinking that. Because a lot of creatives don't. I mean, I'm speaking for myself, okay? I'm not someone who appreciates numbers, who understands that. I've kind of turned a blind eye for many years and feel like I'm still just getting the hang of it. So to
yeah.
have somebody from the get-go that was helping with that, no wonder you've grown to 3 locations so quickly. Like, I think oh,
No,
that's
it
just
is.
amazing.
It's. I am very well aware of, yes, and he really dislikes that word luck, because I
Mm,
practice, so people think I'm lucky. I think it's some athlete quote. You know what I mean?
yeah, we
But
make our
it
own
is what
luck.
it's not luck. It's yeah, exactly. It's preparation,
Hmm.
and practice basically. So yeah, no, it is huge. You can't. So if you want to get into any independent business, um, I remember again early 2000s, we both of us read, I think, the E-Myth book. I think I even mentioned that to you at some point.
Love that book. That was like my first book. Yeah, my first business book I
Yeah,
read. And it's such a tiny little book, which is what's so great about it. Anyone who's listening and you haven't heard me say this, go buy The E-Myth. If you are an
yeah.
entrepreneur, such a good book. Sorry, I interrupted you. I just
No,
feel
no, no,
so strongly about that.
please
It's
do.
such a
Yeah,
good book.
it is a good book and it's a good start. So for sure. And,
Hmm.
and one of the major things was, you have to kind of find out what are you good at, what are your strengths, and then you just have to basically outsource pretty much everything else as
Mm.
soon as you can. And again, I am still, so I've been doing this. I'm 45, going to be 46 this year, just so people know. Hey, and another whole other thing is, it's never too late to work on your business and to, continue improving it. But early on, we figured out what our strengths are. He will be concentrating on that. I was going to concentrate on, just day to day people. Um, and that's now, like, becoming obviously a much bigger part of my role is just, managing people and
That's a big,
marketing
you
is a
have a
whole
big
other thing.
job. Like just because you
Yeah.
have a partner doesn't mean your job is easy. Like what I hear you saying is that you're like you're managing all the operations, you're managing the people,
Mm,
right? You're probably managing marketing, I imagine. You're probably
yes,
doing all
I
the
try.
onboarding of the new
Yeah.
clients. You're probably servicing the clients. Like
I
you're still wearing a lot of hats, it sounds like.
Yes, but we do, again, so our first location we opened up in 2009. And at that point, it was, I would be in the showroom 3 days a week. 2 days were by appointment only, which really meant.
Oh no, she froze on me. Is it my internet? No. Anna, come back. Okay, well, while she's frozen, while we're darn Zoom. I just want to. I just think this is really interesting. We're going to start talking about window treatments and like how you can make more money in your business in a minute. But I do want to talk about, how we do wear a million hats. And even though you might have somebody to help you, it is oftentimes not enough, right? And I know a lot of designers, not a lot, but I know a handful of designers who have business partners. Either they're two designers working together or their husband works with them, and they are still running around like a crazy person because they still need help. So I do want to talk to Anna about that in a minute. Hopefully she'll join us back. Zoom kicked her off. Oh my goodness, if you're listening to this, Anna, I'm just going to keep talking until you come back. Um, anyways, and I think that you still need to consider, even when you have some help, as you grow or if you want to grow. And again, not everybody wants to scale their business. Not everybody wants to have an employee. And I'm super curious to talk to Anna a little bit about that, about the growing your team, managing the people. It's something that I'm continually bettering myself at. I don't think I'm great at it. I still struggle with delegating and then expectations and holding people accountable and all the things that come with managing a team and being a leader that I really didn't realize I was getting myself into. We're still waiting for Anna to return. Boy, oh boy. I hope that we get her back. Okay. We'll sort this out. We can always edit this post. But like the idea that, I mean, I'm sure she's going to share this, but she's hired people to still help. So it's okay. I just want people who are listening to know that even if you have a business partner or you have like one person working with you, it's okay to feel like, oh my goodness, this is still so much work. It doesn't feel like it's enough help, if that makes sense. So
yes, so you do want to
Anna's back, by the way. She's back.
I'm back.
She's back in black. Actually, you're not wearing black, although you are in the picture that I see.
I know, in the picture.
Yeah, so Anna, when you were gone, I was just talking about, because you mentioned you have a business partner, and just talking about your role in operations and his role. And I just sort of wanted people to understand that even if you have some help or you have a business partner, you often still need to hire more people or delegate, right?
You do. No, you absolutely do. You can't do it all. And you're an independent business owner. You are still, like you say, going to wear many hats. You will likely, you'll end up wearing many hats, and that will be the case forever. And the hats might change for sure. And I don't know if I still have it on my LinkedIn. I think I called myself Master Juggler because I couldn't think of anything else, but that's what it is, and then you're a mom. I mean, not all of us are moms, but there's obviously other things in your life other than business. But yeah, Jason and I, he did make me, he would be the one that sort of would bring these things, like the bigger picture, like really thinking ahead, like what do we want out of this business? And we continue asking that every year. And that makes you think about, okay, well, where am I going? What are the goals? And then that's what it leads then into, okay, what are the things I need help with? What is the person that I need? What is the thing I'm going to delegate next? So once we opened up a first showroom, and it was just him and I doing all the sales, right? And then we had an installer and he did the installations. We quickly realized this is not exactly the lifestyle that we want, neither of us. And this is, it's a 2-family business, which is also kind of unique for our industry. There isn't really another retail out there. It's usually, husband and wife, 2 brothers, son and a father, that kind of thing. So to have a store and to be tied to a location, and it just, I knew that wasn't the future either. I love to travel. I like that flexibility. Part of the reason why I wanted, do my own business was the whole flexibility, thing.
Yeah.
But you have to be careful with it. Yes, flexible, be your own boss. But we, again, quickly learned that actually means you have hundreds of bosses or however many clients you have in a year.
Yes, I know. Everyone's like, "Oh, I'm not going to have a boss." No.
So
you have bosses. They're called clients. And even I will add, when you're a freelancer, because I know we have a lot of freelancers who do contract work who are here, you remember that the designer who hires you is your boss. So if you're a freelancer and you're working for multiple design firms, those not your boss, but those. Right? Those are your bosses. I think we get you're right. Like, it took me a long time to realize that I'm not really in charge of everything myself all the time. I mean, I am, but sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, absolutely. It is that. And then, so that's how then we thought, okay. And of course, finances, right? The financial returns of all of that, we realized we need to grow this bigger. It was, what is the lifestyle that we want and what are the things we want to do? And then realize, okay, we need another location to support that. And then your team grows and then you realize, okay, I need to go further. So hence the 3rd location we opened up in 2019 in the summer.
Right before
I know,
the
right?
lockdown.
So this 4-store showroom it's at the shops at Don Mills. It's in Don Mills. Hasn't had like a year of being open. So we've not seen a normal year yet. So we'll see how, looking forward to that.
And I've been to that location. It's such a great location. It's such a lovely little area. You'll get lots of foot traffic. It's just that people haven't been out.
Yeah. And so that should be good. and yeah, so that's where we are at today. And now it's, again, we are now thinking more, the next 10 years and where do we go from here. Yeah.
Okay.
That's my little story.
Let's kind of go back there. So you have these retail locations, but you don't just sell retail, right? You sell to the trade, like to designers like us, because we worked with you.
Yeah. This is why I'm here.
So I think this is a perfect segue for the designers listening. Yeah. Whether you're in Toronto, you're in Vancouver, you're in Connecticut, like you could be anywhere in the world, Australia. I want us to talk a little bit about how you can make money, like how there's a real opportunity. I think designers maybe shy away from some of those finishing touches, or are afraid because drapery can be quite expensive. And so hold off on, I don't know, presenting it to the client. Like I think there's some opportunity to talk a little bit about how, it's a great way to not only finish your space, which obviously as designers, a lot of us recognize and see that, but you can make money in specifying window treatments, whether they're drapery, roller blinds, automated, right? Oh, and I do want to talk about automated, but anyway, we'll get there. Do you want to maybe just talk to that a little?
Yeah, no, for sure. So, yes, we sell obviously to consumers. We do retail. And then naturally, we found more and more designers and architects, would come to us and they just needed help. They needed guidance because there is this. And I think your Rebecca Weatherall brought up in one of your podcasts, she explained, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. In school, how you don't really get into even so much, I guess, residential decorating. Hence, you never really go deep into window coverings. And so we are here basically night and day. We can be that bridging, we bridge that knowledge gap that continues to exist when it comes to window coverings. So if you're starting, window coverings is a component in interior design, is obviously it's such a huge, it's an important part, right? Like window coverings, you don't want to ignore them. Like they bring you privacy, security, and of course the style, right? So it's just a shame to, don't leave it off the table. So essentially, today I was looking at numbers, even thinking back, when we started. Today, like a window that's 3x5, 4x6, where you're looking at something that's like $700 to $1,200, a window. So that's retail. Obviously, I'm talking retail now. So it's to do a whole house, in Toronto, you're looking, well, it's either, if it's a condo, 20,000, 30,000, 40, 45,000 if you're getting into modernization. This is just gross, retail.
Yeah, it adds up.
And a larger home, of course, and let's say you're layering with some motorized shades and you're layering drapery, you're easily getting into 60, 70, 80,000. So how can you get into that? So if you're like just starting off and you really, no one's taught you yet about, especially drapery. Yes, I get it, totally. Quite complicated. You do need some knowledge there. What we say, we're flexible. We have various ways of working with designers. It just depends on the level of their own knowledge and willingness to learn or to invest the time to learn. Because the more you learn, the more opportunity you have to earn.
Stop right there. What? Quote of the year. Hello. This applies to everything in life. The more you learn, the more you can earn. I mean, it even rhymes. I love that. It is so freaking true. Like in anything in life. Whether it's about running a business, managing people, specifying window treatments, like the more that you learn and you understand, the more you can earn. Oh my God. Can you talk to that? What do you mean by that? That's so good.
Well, generally speaking, it's not like I'm not saying something we don't already know. And people have said that, already. You have to keep learning. Like it doesn't stop. Right. So when it comes to, let's say, window covering specifically, if you are, quite new and you're trying to start this, your own design firm and you get, clients here and there, what we say is, and we work with a few designers this way, yes, it's based on trust, of course, but go out there and find suppliers you can trust, work with them, learn about them like us. And it's more of a, what we have at that point is a referral program, is what we would recommend. It's essentially a referral program. So, let us take care of your clients. Let us take that off your plate in terms of, getting into technical details about, can I install this shade in this window? And, never mind modernization. That's a whole other, right? So, yes, there's a little bit of trust, and you just focus on being at the helm of your design process or of your design vision. You're there with us. You're going to approve fabric. You're going to approve color. But my, design professionals or our consultants are there to just, we give you another person, this is the link, right? So we give you another design assistant, essentially, right? That specializes in window coverings. And you just have to basically approve it. You're working with them and we answer all your questions. Well, can we do it this way? Because there's so much detail. Yes, some designers are very like headstrong. No, I can do this. And they'll go and like, but what happens when this shade falls down and there's a window crank in the way? Or the client will ask them and they get stumped, or like, wait, how does this manual cord work? There's just so many people will ask. Of course they do, because they want to know. Window covering is something that you use every day. It's a heavy use thing. So people really do want to know how it works, not only how, beautiful it looks. So in terms of referral program, we have it that way. And we would recommend, honestly, start with that. If you want to, you are looking at really essentially like a 10 to 12% markup. If you want to look at it that way, it's not, I know it's not a big chunk, so it is small.
That's not a lot in the design world. 10% is probably one of the smallest that we would ever experience. But I mean, it's still, if you think about the large volume and the dollars, there's still a lot of money there.
Yeah, it's essentially what we do is like, if you think of the product cost, it's 30,000 and that's your 10% for really just guiding the process and approving it. We're taking everything off your plate, the installation, the check measuring, any of course mistakes, it's all us, and the after service and the 1 year, warranty. Otherwise,
and I think I'm just going to, sorry, just to interject there. I think that what I really like about that, and not every design firm operates the way I do, and I recognize that. But for us, I used to coordinate somebody else to come and do the window check measure. I mean, he's awesome, and I still think he never made a mistake, but I'm going to do the check measure. I'd send it to the workroom. The workroom would tell me how many yards I needed. Then I would go to the fabric, we'd pick the fabric. We would coordinate the shipping to the workroom. Then we would, when the drapery or the window treatments were ready, we would call the guy who did the check measure because he did the install, and then he would come, and it was like a lot of coordination. Now, everybody was highly skilled, and I would recommend those people to anyone, but now we're at a level where I don't want to spend time doing all that back and forth, because there's also more opportunity for error on our end. And if we can know that we have a trusted partner, right, in you to come measure, do it all together, we verify that everything's accurate, and then you're off to the races, you have everything made, you schedule the install. I mean, you guys just did my house. And it was so refreshing just for you to say, okay, we're coming to install. I'm like, oh, that's amazing. I didn't even have to follow up with you. How wonderful. But I do think you want to offer a higher level of service. You need to look for a trusted partner who can offer a little bit more in-house than just being the workroom. And now I will tell you, you do sometimes pay a little bit more for that, because I have designer friends who have a workroom and they do drapes like really cheaply. But then there's more time on their end spent coordinating. So you have to look at what works for you. But I do think if you're moving higher end and you want to provide a luxury service to your clients, operating and working with a firm like yours makes total sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it just depends what you need. And you said it right there. And I thank you for reminding me of that trusted partner. That's really what it comes down to. And maybe for some projects you want to do it this way because it's a really large project and there's so many things going on. And it is, you're right, that coordination is the biggest, time investment. And so we're not a workroom. I don't own a workroom. I use two workrooms, right? And so we're that coordination, that sort of missing link in between. So we do all of that communication with the workroom, with the installers. You just have to trust us. Just give us the, your client's number or whatever it is, contact information, and we'll set it up. And we just kind of let you know what's happening. And then obviously we ask detailed questions, you send, you want to use a certain fabric and it's a really particular pattern. If you just send that to the workroom, I don't know, it depends on the workroom. Is the workroom going to actually ask you, how do you want me to lay this out? And we should be that person in between that thinks of, wait a minute, how do you want to, we will ask you. And then we will, relay that information to the actual workroom. So yeah, it just depends where you are in your business, if you want to do it that way. So then, for some designers, they do want to, maybe they enjoy it, and they get into really understanding not just drapery, but all of these blinds and shades and shutters and all of that stuff. And we specialize in the Hunter Douglas brand. So we made that commitment years back to commit to offer the premium brands, to always think, what's the best out there, what's innovative. So that's the other thing. We are committed to being experts at managing high-end clients too, right? And it's not every retailer or even supplier has that sort of knowledge and expertise and experience. We just have experience, right? So we have experience managing, high-end clients. So that should really be similar to obviously design firms and the types of clients that you have. And so some designers, they get more interested potentially. If you do, then you can simply order through us, but you got to do all that coordinating. So if you have the time to coordinate, to really, to input the orders in our system, and we are happy to teach you, then you're looking at, absolutely more than 50% markup, right? For window coverings, 50, 60, 70%. But you'd have to do a lot more of that work. And before you even get there, you really need to learn quite a bit. And honestly, it takes like a few months. So whenever I hire someone new, and we just have a decorator, so someone with some experience that joined us recently. And again, to just learn about like blinds and shades, there's a ton of information, and I know, and it's going to take like a few months to actually absorb it and be able to and be confident about it, that you can talk to your clients about window coverings, right? So
I think that's it, because it can get pretty technical. I mean, I know that like you said, they don't always talk about a lot of the decorating, depending on what type of design school you go to, like the pleat style, like there's so many things. I was just on site yesterday and we were troubleshooting an issue with drapery. There was like a fixed panel because it was like one of those weird windows in a bedroom that I mean, if I had been a part of building this house, I would never have let the builder do that. But anyhow, that's why you should hire designers from the beginning, and not just bring them in after to decorate, because then you're like troubleshooting like really difficult situations. Anyhow, so we came up with a solution to pull the drapes all the way to the one side and like get like a hold back, right? To like tie back the drapes. And I'm like picturing it in my mind, and I'm thinking like, I don't even know what the frick this thing's called, because this is kind of a more typically a traditional look, but we're going to make it really modern. And I'm like, man, I gotta brush up on my knowledge. I was thinking, I mean, I didn't want to say it to my client, but I was like, what the frick is that thing called? Totally.
But tie back is like with fabric. And now my mind is blank now what you call the metal one. But anyway.
Well, I Googled it. I can tell you I Googled it when I got home. And at least in the US, it's called a holdback, which is a weird name for it. Yeah. And it's just like a metal, like kind of loop thing. But anyway, and I think actually to your point with understanding and learning the technical side, what I've always been hesitant to do until very recently is offer my clients automated, motorized, tech heavy window treatments, because to be honest, it's not something I know anything about. And I don't know if anyone listening feels the same way, but I definitely always lean towards drapery. And you know this, you're like, oh, designers love drapery and Romans. We do, because we love fabric, right? And that brings in so much color and life and texture and interest. And it really dresses the window. But sometimes you really do also need to layer it, like you said, with like a roller blind or a cellular blind. Like there's so many things that honestly, it wasn't until I went to your showroom, you started showing me all these things for my house. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that existed. That could be motorized? What? And so
Yeah.
now in recent time, I've started to see that we recommend that it's motorized or it has a battery because we live in such a tech savvy world now.
Mm-hmm.
My clients are like, heck yes, I'll pay for that. Whereas before I was afraid to even suggest it because I was so budget conscious and so worried. I didn't want my clients to think that I was trying to like really push them.
Yeah.
But when it's actually been the opposite. I
Yeah.
don't know. Have you had that
No, I hear you.
experience with designers? Like, do you find that they resist the electronic
Absolutely.
stuff?
Oh, absolutely. There's like this one that I can think of. She seems to be more, a designer. I know she's quite comfortable. Maybe because who knows? Maybe she has a techie background. I never asked, but no, absolutely. And it's completely understandable because where do you start? And that's why we say, will you please come now? I can do so much more. And I had to realize that, I plan to, I'll do videos and I'm always happy to, like, in terms of collaboration and, and sharing the knowledge, like I'm there. People will call me from all over Canada and I'll be happy to connect them to, because I can't take care of you in whatever BC, and I'll connect you to someone else. Anyway, I digress. Sorry. So automation, we do say, just come. Like, this is what we're for. Like, it's a showroom. Let's show you, how it works. No, people are definitely, homeowners are looking to automate. Homeowners are looking to elevate their, their interiors. All kinds of homeowners, right? Like not, you know what I mean? Like, it has become a lot more economical over the past 15 years. So you really shouldn't, we're looking at, again, on a shade, it's typically you're looking at an extra, practically $500. I'm trying to simplify this, $1,000 shade, like I said, per window pretty much. And it's another 500 to motorize it. We're talking low voltage motors. So it is economical.
It sounds like it's getting cheaper than it used to be.
It is.
Is it?
No, it is. And then you don't have to worry about wiring it. That's something you do if you're doing a major reno. The walls are not there. Yes, you can wire it. Awesome. But there's so many easy now ways, basically battery operated. They came out just recently with rechargeable batteries. So, and they're really amazing. So it's just like this little battery clip that goes at the back of your shade. And the shades themselves don't look very different when you look at them, a manual one versus a motorized one, because these motors are pretty small. They're inside of those, kind of headrails, so cool. Or, right. It is cool. Yeah. And then, it can tie into home automation systems. You can talk to your shades. No, Chris was very excited about that.
Can I just tell you, because we did automated, what did we do in my bedroom? Automated cellular
honeycombs in there. Yeah.
Honeycombs. Hunter Douglas, right?
Yeah.
And I've never had an automated blind in my life. Like, never. Like, I am not fancy like that. Like, I don't think I need the bells and whistles, but I can tell you now that I have them, I will absolutely never not have them in my bedroom. It is the best convenience. In the morning I wake up and it's like, boom, I'm going to open the blinds. One window in my bedroom, I have a really beautiful view of the CN Tower, downtown Toronto. And so sometimes I'm like, I'm just going to pick window number 4 and I'm going to keep that blind up at night and close the others, because you can like isolate windows. It's so incredible, but it's not something I would have ever, if you hadn't pushed and said, you should do this, I would have said, like, what's the most economical way to dress my windows as far as the blinds go? Because I think sometimes as designers, we don't always value that layer because it's not the pretty layer.
Yes.
But if I was a client, now I'm seeing it as my clients, like now we're just going to automatically put, when we quote like blinds.
Yeah.
Also, you can motorize drapery as well. But I'm going to just quote that. If they want it cost savings, we can take it away. But I'd rather put it there for them, because for me to be still thinking and raving about it months after they've been installed means, imagine our clients. Like, it's just a no-brainer. But I think I had to have that experience. And I will tell you, I still don't feel comfortable educating my clients on and that's where I think having you come to site or someone from your team come to site on a trade day like we do, you can educate the client and say, well, when you this is an option and you can do this thing. And quite often I'm like, I didn't even know. And it's okay as a design professional to not know everything. It's okay.
You can't know everything.
to rely on your vendors, to rely on your suppliers. Like, it's okay to tell a client, I don't know the answer to that, but I have a great drapery person and she'll tell me what we can do. Because I don't think anyone expects you to have all the answers. And if they do, they're probably just an asshole. Sorry.
They're making it up. No, that's exactly it. You can't. So that's all we're, saying. Let us take that off your plate, that one thing at least, or just, have us there on site there and we'll answer all these questions. But yeah, no, I do not make no, you can't ignore modernization. Like, it's really there. I think it's grown to now basically a third of what we sell is automated. So people just want that convenience, and the windows are getting bigger and bigger. And basically, right? Who wants to go around the house and lift blinds up, whatever they are? We can motorize Roman shades, designers. Do not worry. Yes, Roman shades can be motorized. Drapery can be motorized. We have, woven wood, those nice bamboo blinds. I know that's usually trendy and always in trend. We can motorize them, but really anything at this point. But there's some unique kind of products that you want to have a look at, whatever, pirouette window shade that I know most designers still are not aware of it. And it's such a cool, it's a cool product. I'm just saying, just come and see.
Okay, so enough shop talk, because what I want designers to do from this, because we're not going to educate you on all the products right now. That's not our goal.
No, I know.
But hopefully this is enough for the designers to see and understand, or hear and understand, that there's so much out there. And a lot of designers listening to this are probably like, duh, Rebecca, I already use those. Well, good for you. Good for you. But I do know that there's people listening who don't know much about this. So I encourage you, if you're in the Greater Toronto area, reach out to Anna, obviously, Night and Day Decor, or somebody local in your community. Start to educate yourself, offer it to your clients, because I think it's a great opportunity to add value and make more money, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it comes down to that. Why not? Your clients are looking to invest in their home. That whole and budget. I wish let's do that. Let's try not to use that word even, because there's one thing. Oh, actually, I didn't want to share this with you, because I was trying to teach my team, how do we get around this whole, what's the budget? So we have to do the same thing, like you do the discovery call. We have to figure out, what are the questions? Let's just even see, is this our target market? Is this a right client for us? And I heard it somewhere, I can't remember the way someone said, just ask them, what is the investment you've put aside for this project? Mm-hmm. Don't forget this word budget. What is the investment?
The word investment. I know. I've literally just started doing that. I've always said budget until, I'm not even kidding you, 2021.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm finally catching myself.
But it's just,
how much do you want to invest?
How much do you want to invest in this? Because that's what it is. It's an investment in your home, whatever it is, be it furniture, of course, but also window coverings, right? So, there's definitely an opportunity to earn, even if it is just, just hand it everything over and just get, that referral fee, or just start learning about it slowly, and we'll figure it out. And then you can get up to, much bigger markup if you're willing to, coordinate all of that, for sure. But yeah.
I have a question. What is the biggest mistake that's ever happened that you've experienced on a job site? Or, if you can't think of the biggest, what is I could list a million. One of our big mistakes, while you're thinking about that, it wasn't really a mistake, but in some ways, we didn't communicate well enough to the client what was going on their window, because we didn't have an elevation of that wall, which in hindsight, the design team should have done that. And so when they were installed, it's exactly what we pictured. It's exactly how we described it, but without having that visual, the client saw it and was like, this is not what I expected. So for me, I think a lot of it comes down to communication, but that's something that just recently happened. But how about you? What is there anything big mistake? I'm not necessarily your mistake, but anything that's gone wrong. What can go wrong? Let's share a horror story.
Oh my goodness.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Many things. You are, and I do. So over the years, I've been, both Jess and I have been actually moving away from the sales themselves, right? And then, so we can focus on other things. So I do less and less of really actually direct sales. So many things because there's so many people involved. I'm trying to think anything.
Or like an install gone wrong, like drapes are too long. Or
they do. No, this happens all the time. And then,
what?
I mean, from your own, so, okay, the last thing I remember, just because when we did your house, and it was me in the end, I went back, I'm like, what went wrong here? There was one shade that was just made wrong. It was too wide, luckily.
Oh yeah, the Roman shade, stationary Roman shade for the stairwell was a little bit too wide, but it wasn't by a lot. It was like a tiny little measurement. Yeah.
But it wasn't the measurement, it was the typo. Like it's just, you go back like, okay. So it could still be us, or it could be then the installer. Obviously the installer is actually, that's the final word in terms of measurements but then another person has to type it up to send it to the workroom. And then the workroom also has to make it. So there's another opportunity for somebody to mix up the numbers or whatever, just write down the wrong thing. And so that happens all the time. The worst would be like really flipping numbers. I think it wasn't personally, but I'm aware of it where it was, but again, luckily too long. So we could always get the drapery shortened. So that's these things happen all the time.
Okay, fine. So they're just all kinds of little things. I was hoping for something juicy.
No, not honestly. We don't.
I guess there's not that much that can go wrong with window treatments, apart from maybe having the wrong thing installed. Okay, because we're running out of time. Before we end, I would love to hear. Do you have any advice from as an entrepreneur yourself? What advice could you give to designers who are possibly just starting out or have just been in the industry for a couple of years? Do you have any advice? As one entrepreneur, I can't talk today, to another. Other than your incredible comment, the more you learn, the more you can earn. That was really good. But I'm looking for something even more.
Oh my goodness. You ask a lot. No.
It's that's the point of a podcast, Anna.
I know. I'm just joking. I think so if you're starting, just again, spend that time, invest the time to, again, I think I said it already, really, to learn what your strengths are, where and what they're not, and then see, who you can get to, who you can find to delegate that to. But also make no mistake, just understand that why you're doing this, what do you value in life the most, and make no mistake, family comes first. That's what I sort of realized, and I do actually go about this business with always that in mind. Maybe I could have, by now, doing this more than 10 years, I don't know, had a yacht or something. I'm not joking. Whatever. But
we all know what's on Anna's vision board: a giant yacht.
A giant yacht.
Is it in Lake Ontario or is it in the Caribbean?
It's Caribbean for sure. So I love my Lake Ontario, but no. So it is I've kind of built around it. I have teens now, and now, so, and just be prepared for life changes, and then your, what you value, and what I think you even said that this recently, I read it, what fills your cup changes. Watch out for that, 40 and something and up. It really does something. I don't know what happens, but something changes.
Tell me about that. Yes, please. What the frick happens? I literally just turned 40 and I'm like, I don't want the same things. It was like a light switch and I'm like, I'm changing the trajectory of my life.
I don't know what happens. That's the thing, right? It's a mystery.
It's like hustle, 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 hustle. And then you're like, wait a minute, I'm already at 40. I don't know. Do I have another 40? Do I have 50 left? I don't know. Frick, man. I don't want to spend my entire life just hustling and not present for my family and not making these memories. And so it's woo, let's pull things back. I've definitely made some major moves and decisions this year that I'm pretty sure I would never have made pre-pandemic or in my 30s. 100%. You're right. Family, don't... Yeah. Everyone who's successful has hustled to some extent, I think, but there is a way to find that balance.
There is a way, and maybe you do want to hustle more. I don't think I don't even know if I would call myself a hustler. That would be, then I would feel
Girl,
like
you
an
have
imposter
3
or something.
locations.
But
You are
I
very
guess,
modest.
yeah, well, that's a whole other, conversation, like getting out, like, okay, what, just being comfortable with all of that and the successes, it's a whole other conversation. But yeah, no, it just be aware that it will change, mid-20s and then your 30s, like what you want in life. And I do, maybe you don't want to put your family first, but I'm just saying, to me, that was important and realization I had. And so I try and kind of work around it, and to make sure I'm present. And it's okay if it takes you longer. It's okay. It's okay to be still working and figuring things out at 45, and maybe again changing the like you said, the trajectory where we're going. So
yeah, life is not a race.
And can I just one more thing for designers?
Yeah.
Can we stop with the roller shades?
With the roller shades? I'm staring at roller shades right now. I'm in my office today recording, and I'm staring at the roller shades in the window. They're very modern.
They are modern. I know. I'm just saying there's a world outside of roller shades. No, there's definitely.
You heard it here first, windows. Designers. Get up with the times. Stop specking roller shades. Oh my God, you're so funny. Okay, Anna, we have to end there. Yeah. That was really... Thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom, your hustle. Can you let everybody know where they can find you if they want to follow you and learn and sort of connect?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry. So it's nightanddaydecor.com, but you can find me on Instagram where I'm trying my best there, Night and Day Decor. And yeah, that's probably the best way. Instagram or website, Facebook, you'll find us. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks so much, Rebecca. See you soon.
Well, there you have it. You heard it here first. Stop picking roller shades. Oh my God, she's so funny. I'm sure there's things that we as designers say that we're like, oh, I wish clients would stop asking for this thing. It's the same thing, right? She's just like an extension of that. It's so funny. I have to say, it is definitely something that I'm still getting better at is encouraging my clients to do the automated, the motorized stuff. I do see a lot of value. And like I said, like as me, the end user, really appreciating them every night, I can imagine my clients thinking, wow, like I'm so glad that Rebecca encouraged us to do this because we really love it. And you want to have those lasting impressions, right? Once you're done and you're out of your client's home. So what a great way. Anyhow, she did share with us a free cheat sheet. It is in the show notes, and it's all her tips on how to talk to your clients about window coverings. So go check that out. You can download that for free. And thanks again for listening. We'll see you soon.